Okay, so let's look at this problem. We know some information about sine theta minus pi over 2, and we're looking for cosine of negative theta. So one of the things that will come in handy here is the fact that cosine, if you remember, is symmetric about the y-axis here, which makes it an even function. So if I plug in some theta, I get a specific value for cosine, but it's the same exact value as if I plugged in negative theta. So cos theta and cos negative theta are going to be equal to each other because it's an even function. So this, right away, I can just turn it into that, which is a little bit easier to look at. Another property that we remember are the cofunction identities, and that says that sine of something and cosine of something are equal if these two angles are complementary. So if I call this one theta, this one is pi over 2 minus theta, right? Those add up to 90 degrees or pi over 2 radians. So over here now, I can say, okay, cosine theta, same as sine of pi over 2 minus theta. That's almost what I have here, but not quite. So one of the ways I can switch these around, because that's what I need to do. I need to switch these around. That's the same thing as saying sine of negative, whoops, theta minus pi over 2. Right? Think about if I distribute that negative sign, you're going to get a positive pi over 2 and a negative theta, which is what's in the original, the previous step. Um, well, this is really a complicated way of looking at something like that, sine of negative x, right? And remember, sine of x is an odd function, so it's symmetric about the origin. So if I plug in negative x here, right, I get a negative value. If I plug in positive x, I get a positive value. And so they're opposite signs of each other. So sine of negative x is the same thing as negative sine of regular x. Remember, because it's an odd function. So this, I can, anytime I have a negative angle there, I can just pull the negative out. Okay, so that's what happens here. Negative sine of theta minus pi over 2. So I pulled out that negative because it's an odd function. And now I know that this part is 0.73. So the whole thing is negative 0.73.